Most people would agree that we are in some kind of spiritual battle our whole life. But what if I told you that this battle was with real demons, fallen angels, created from the beginning of time, assigned to us for our demise? They have the ability to project their thoughts and images, even emotions, into our thought process. So much so that the last person that we should trust is ourselves. My name is Patrick Campbell, and this episode is about conquering the liar on the next 7-minute boom. If you're like me, if you're about to do something really important or a great work for God, you are just bombarded with negative thoughts. That's what happened to me. Most people get that before they give a talk. I seem to get that afterwards. Right after I give a talk, I am overwhelmed with negative thoughts like, who do you think you are? That was so stupid. Why did you say that? You sounded like an idiot. And it so overwhelmed me that I would have to run and find somewhere to be alone when people actually wanted to pray with me because I opened up their hearts with the grace of God. And the enemy didn't want me to be there. He didn't want me to pray. So he had to come in and discourage me from God's plan. We have held thousands of families in our Victory in Spiritual Warfare seminar in Canada and the United States. And we want to give you that formula right now so you can do battle like this.
The lie was, I would never overcome my sin because I did not love God enough.
My lie was that no one loved me and that I can never be loved.
The lie was that Satan was stronger than God.
I renounce the lie that I don't love God.
In the name of Jesus, I accept the truth.
I renounce the lie that Satan was stronger than God.
In the name of Jesus, I accept the truth that I do love God.
That I am loved by my family, my friends, and by God.
In the name of Jesus, the truth is that God always wins. Amen.
Notice that each boy is wrestling with their own torments. This is so that we understand that we all are different in the lies that the enemy puts in our heads. The most important thing to notice is that each boy used the word Jesus. Jesus is the most important part of this prayer. His name brings freedom, and it's used to renounce the enemy, and it's used to proclaim the truth. So are we able to see a pattern in our lives where the enemy has really dominated our thought process? Like, I have a good friend named Rick, and he hit his head and he had a head injury that lasted year after year. And he had to actually fight. He did spiritual battle against the lies that Jesus could not heal him, that Jesus did not think he was important, and that he wouldn't get healed. And when he was able to receive the truth that Jesus loved him and that he was going to heal him, he had a complete healing. In the beginning, when God made Adam and Eve, that Satan, he didn't have access to our thought process. He couldn't mess with our heads. He had to approach us from the outside as a snake. And if Eve would have just ignored him, he would have been like, hey, whoa, Eve, hey, come back here. Look at me. I'm a talking snake. But that's not what happened. He knew to divide us, he would have first have to attack our thought process. He had to bring doubt that God truly didn't love us. He had to bring doubt that he didn't have our best interest at hand. And it was from that fall that gives demons access to inject their thoughts, their images, and emotions into our thought process. They can't read our mind, but they can study us. And this is why we are in battle from the beginning. What does this mean? It means that we all go through these temptations, these thought processes, that some are from us, some are from God, and some are torments of the enemy. This is why Paul urges us to pray without ceasing, because in prayer we are connected to God and Satan has less access to us. Most of us don't even know that we're in battle to begin with. And we're pounded by the enemy with depression and anxieties and fear our whole life. It's like being stuck without a key to get out. So how is a guy supposed to know what's of himself and what's of the enemy? Well, the answer is we follow the peace. When we are in a state of grace, it's like a lot of the work is done for us. There is a certain amount of protection. But if we were to fall in mortal sin, we are outside of God's graces, and it's like free-ranging for the enemy to just infiltrate bad thoughts. We see this all the time. Ooh, that person really burns me. Or when you're in a fight with your spouse and you suddenly come up with really witty things to say, and then upon saying it, you really hurt the one you love. Satan is always trying to divide. He's always trying to put his perception on our life to ruin us. So how do we end this? So it's like Satan coming on your property and setting up a tent. He spreads all his junk and he makes himself feel at home. Are you going to take it? No. You're going to say, hey, buddy, get off my property. You don't belong here. This is Spiritual Battle 101. In the midst of spiritual battle, we first need to stop, pray, find peace. Number 2, we need to identify the lie that the enemy is trying to sell us. Number 3, we need to renounce that lie in the name of Jesus Christ. And number 4, we need to pronounce the blessings of Jesus in thanksgiving, which is the opposite of the lie that Satan was trying to sell us. So now there's a real need for us to vocalize this prayer, to renounce sin and all of its ties, that we want nothing to do with what Satan is trying to sell us. Kind of like that guy in the backyard setting up his tent. We wouldn't go and sheepishly say, hey, please, sir, can you kind of, get off my property? No, you wouldn't do that. He has no right to be there, and he needs to hear it. So what happens if he doesn't want to leave? And even though I told him to go, I am still being tormented. And that's a possibility, that he might think he has rights. So I have to do a reflection, a self-examination. Did I make any compromises? We have to remember that the only reason he has access was because of the fall, because of sin. And so when we open doors to sin and we are in a state of mortal sin, it is like an open door for him to stay. We make an act of contrition and we seek the sacrament of reconciliation and renounce all the sin. Renounce everything and close those doors so it would give him no access, no authority to be on our property. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers.
Get it, boy!
And we are so grateful and thank you for all your support that we are going to give away one of our handmade crosses for free.
Free?
Yeah. Yes, free. And all you have to do to enter this raffle is to leave a comment on this video.
That's all I have to do?
Yep, it's going to be free. You leave a comment and we'll tell you if you won or not at the next 7-minute
No
video.
way. I'm going to comment right now.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We got to hit 1,000 first. And then we also want to thank Bishop Michael for leaving an awesome comment about the Benedictine lifestyle on our last video, and it's right here. We thank you for leaving comments because that helps us, and make sure to like and subscribe. God bless everybody.
Hi!